Hello guys, it is the Gaming Weasel back again with another video, and in today's video we're going to be covering Khora and her build guide. Now Khora is, in my opinion, a much better Hydroid. She's used for DPS, she's used for looting, she's used for, I guess, area denial, I guess, in some sort of ways, and you could sort of crowd control with her as well. Now let's go check out her abilities. For her passive, we have her Voracious Kavat Venari. Fights by her side, increases her speed by 15% if she's alive, of course. I mean Venari. And if she dies, she's gonna respawn in 45 seconds. Now, which abilities should you focus on Khora? Well, in my case, and the way I prefer you play it, is focus on the first, second, and fourth ability. The third ability is going to be just changing the mode of Venari, so attack, defense, or heal. Of course, you and your allies, so keep that in mind. And she's gonna respawn automatically when she dies, so you don't have to worry about that. But first ability, not worst, is a Whip Claw, which is her semi-exalted weapon. Sends enemies reeling with a deafening whip crack. You actually do a lot of slash impact and puncture damage, because it is, as you can see by the damage numbers right there, the slash impact and puncture damage type is equal in every regard. Ensnare is an ability where you bind a target in literally snares, and then every single enemy in that area is going to get ensnared with it. This is going to be a very useful ability, you'll see why. And we have her Strangle Dome, which she makes 2 domes. She can make 2 domes if you want. And then this ability is going to do damage over time. This is the duration ability, and you can put an augment, which is going to make this much more better. And of course, an augment for Whip Claw as well. Now, you do or you don't need to have a stat stick. I prefer having one on her, but I'll show you gameplay, for example, with the Grand Prime, and I'll show you gameplay with my stat stick, which is the dual cleavers. Now, you do not have to have a ribbon on here. That is totally in, you don't need to. If you have one, great, but we're going to be using Coughing Bee. As you can see, this is not even fully kitted out. This is just a normal mod setup with just critical chance damage, and that's mostly it. You could definitely, max out your weapon, of course. That makes sense. You usually max out weapons. But in my case, I didn't. But you're going to see the damage is enormous. So I'm going to show you the primary and secondary. Not really important. You can literally use anything. Even if I wanted to, I'm just going to put on the Bolt or Prime, even though this weapon is useless at the moment. And then just put, let's go, the Epitaph, which I didn't cover yet, probably. But that doesn't really matter. As I said, Venari is modded in such a way that I just literally threw on every single mod that I think is going to be useful. The 3 mods that I do recommend are Hunter Command, Hunter Synergy, and Sharpened Claws. Now, Sharpened Claws has a chance of stripping enemy armor. Hunter Command, applying a status effects on an enemy, causes the companion to attack them for 6 seconds, and plus 25% companion damage on enemies affected by slash. So that's going to be very good on Venari. And Hunter Synergy, 30% critical chance link, and again 25% companion damage on enemies affected by slash. And what I would greatly recommend you do is get your Helios Prime or Helios, it doesn't really matter. And then on the Deconstructor, I would recommend you put these 3 mods: Gladiator Rush, Gladiator Might, and Gladiator Vice. These 3 mods are going to increase your critical chance by a lot. You will see that in a couple of seconds when I show you the actual gameplay. Your critical hit chance is going to go up into the heavens. Now, let's go to the build. Now, the build is going to be basically an all-around build. This is the build that I use for everything. I do not have 2 separate builds. This build is rarely used, almost never used on my Khora. I always use my first build. Now, there are definitely things you can change up in this build, but as I said, this is my build that I personally use, and this video and this series is going to be guidelines on how to mod the Warframe, not a mod loadout, I guess, video. Now for the aura, we have Rejuvenation, we have Power Drift. This I would definitely prefer you change, put Cunning Drift instead of Power Drift here. Accumulating Whip Claw. Whip Claw augment hitting 3 enemies will grant 35% stacking damage bonus. The subsequent Whip Claw bonus will decay after 10 seconds. So you can get up to a maximum of 350% stacking damage. We have Prime Flow for more energy, Fling Expertise for efficiency, Prime Flow for duration alongside Constitution. We have Stretch for range, Pilfering Strangledome, which is a Strangledome augment, which gives you 65% extra chance of dropping additional loot. Enemies that are ensnared, so you can kill them with anything you want with your weapon while they're ensnared inside of the Strangledome. And of course we have Vitality for health. Now, I've seen some people use a build like this. So move out Constitution, move on Pilfering Strangledome. You do not need any power strength on her because your melee mods are going to be very useful here. And of course your, what's his name, Sentinel. And then I would prefer you take out Rejuvenation and put in Brief Respite, because this is gonna convert 150% of your energy spent on shields, which is gonna be great because you can utilize the shield gating port, which, if you didn't know, shield gating is when you run out of shields, you have a couple of seconds of invulnerability, and at that point you can cast your first ability and then gain your shields back. Vitality can be changed off for a rolling guard, which is literally the same thing as shield gating, but every time you roll, I think you get around 3 or 5 seconds maximum of invulnerability. Once it's maxed out. I don't really have it, so I can't really show you because I don't really use Rolling Guard. Now, Pilfering Strangledome, you could change this out for maybe Streamline or even more range with Augur Reach. Honestly, as I said, this is my build that I love using for everything, so you don't really need to worry about this. But if you want to make a Pilfering Strangledome build, what I would recommend is maybe take out Fleeting Expertise and put out another duration mod, such as Narrow-Minded even. That'll be quite good to put on there, because that's going to be more of a Strangledome build, because Strangledome does need a bit more duration. But other than that, you are pretty good. So, let's go show you the build and show you the gameplay. So what I'm gonna do is collect some energy. She has a really small pool, so Primed Flow is gonna be a very great option. What you're gonna do is, you find a group of enemies. Oh no, they're shooting me. They're level 155, just so you know, because I was able to increase my MR yesterday, I think. So I'm just gonna get my duration, sorry, not my duration, but my combo counter, just a bit up, and, get to the point where I get a little bit more orange crits, and then I press my 1. And there you go, just press my 1 on them. Their booties get slapped up, and they will get knocked up and dead. I think they're definitely dead. And there you go. That took around maybe like 10 or 15 seconds, so you don't really have to worry about that much. Now, I'm gonna show you the ensnare way, which is just press 2 on either one of them, and as you can see, all I need to do is slice up the enemies a couple times, and there you go. That's it. My combo counter is at 12, which is the maximum, and I just need to slap their booties a couple of times, and there you go. Okay, that guy really wants to survive. As you can see, he doesn't have any armor left, because my Venari stripped him of his armor, and yeah, that's mostly it. Now let's show you with the Grand Prime, for example, because as I said, you don't really need the stat stick, you just need a really good weapon. Now, as you can see, this is a basic mod setup for the Grand Prime. This is nothing really special and nothing really to worry about. So, you can put even the Galantine Prime, you can put other weapons as well. Just, go for critical chance, then viral, I guess you could do as well, and damage itself. So there you go. Let me just simulate the enemies, press my 2 on one of them, and there you go. All I need to do is literally just slice this a couple of times. There you go. At combo count of 12, you're gonna do a little bit less damage. Actually, you're not. I'm doing the same damage. I don't know what I'm talking about. And there you go. They flopped to their deaths. Now, that is mostly it. That's how you play Khora. If you want to play only Whip Claw and don't want to focus on Strangledome, then you can definitely put, instead of this, put on a Streamline for extra efficiency, and instead of Constitution, you could put Augur Reach as well for extra range of her Whip Claw. And yeah, as I said, Rolling Guard instead of this, and then you can put Brief Respite instead of Rejuvenation. And there you go, that is mostly it. That is my Khora build that I recommend you guys, test out, try it for yourself. And yeah, hope you guys enjoyed. If you guys did, leave a like, a comment, and subscribe for more content. I do try to make a lot of content per week. And yeah, this has been the Gaming Weasel, over and out.